When it comes to a forest, there is a lot more going on than you can imagine. From unsettlingly huge entities to close encounters with unrecognizable beings. Here are some of the things that nobody would have believed if they had not been caught on camera. Juvenile Bigfoot. Ever since the inception of Bigfoot, this is probably the very first time that a juvenile Bigfoot may have been documented. In December 2021, a hiker posted this footage after sighting a being similar to that of a Bigfoot, only much smaller in size. It was found hiding up in a tree somewhere in a forest in Washington state. Upon both spotting each other, no one of them made any sudden moves, although they were stunned to see each other until the hikers slowly pulled away from the area. As the video reached social media, many speculated that this could be a juvenile Bigfoot, as it had resemblance to a Bigfoot, although smaller in size. Ghost of an ancient warrior. Unlike most ghosts, this one seemed to be armed and determined. In 2021, an Arabic YouTuber, along with a couple of his friends, were exploring an abandoned area in the northeastern Saudi Arabia when they stumbled upon this ghost that looked to be toned like some ancient warrior. After hours into exploring, they noticed this genuinely upsetting ghost that was wearing ancient war fatigues and carrying some type of weapon. They attempted to get its attention by flashing it with lights and verbally calling out to it, but it didn't seem to care. The YouTubers reported that they believe this supernatural entity may have emerged from a nearby ancient cemetery. White Yeti-faced entity. In the manner that it chose to run away, it's almost as if its elders had forbidden it any human contact. A local resident, while passing on the outskirts of Carbondale, Pennsylvania, heard strange sounds emerging from the trees by the side of the road, which he decided to search to find its source. Several minutes into the search, he noticed the face of a white Yeti as it was caught by the beam of a flashlight. At this moment, this white Yeti immediately started running away, and within seconds, it managed to disappear into the forest. Dark forest figure. Instances such as this display how dangerously skilled these figures are in hiding from everyone that passes by. While casually flying a drone somewhere deep in the Salt Fork Park in Ohio, the camera was able to spot a dark figure hiding in the thickets of the trees. It looks to have dark skin, or perhaps a piece of clothing that looks to be exceptionally tall. The mysterious figure can be seen standing idly by, with its posture towards the drone, almost as if it's waiting for the drone to pass away. The drone pilot didn't notice the unusual sighting until reviewing the footage. Unknown animal in tree. Although this may have the closest resemblance to that of an animal, it certainly does not behave or structurally look to be one. A family, while passing through the streets of Acapulco, Mexico, bumped into this unrecognizable animal. According to one of the family members, this animal struck their car after appearing suddenly from the trees, and then it attempted to hide in a bush over a higher ground. As they followed it to investigate, they managed to start recording the incident, showing moments when this unknown animal that was hiding in the bushes stepped out into the open to completely escape in the trees while using the dark to its advantage. Mysterious howler. Either this is the case of a giant or a Bigfoot hidden deep in the woods. A trucker, while being parked at a rest stop in Oregon along Route 97, suddenly started to hear loud, howling sounds coming from outside of the woods nearby. Just by focusing on the nature of its voices, one can know that its source is something much bigger and stronger than any known animal, which also made it quite terrifying. More drivers and nearby gas stations also reported hearing these sounds. With rumors of several giant gorilla-like animals in these areas, many believe that this is the roar of a Bigfoot or a similar being. Bizarre wall entity. Surely such an insane person would lock themselves up, which proves that this could be an interdimensional being. A Reddit user, Omolro, uploaded this footage where two men who were exploring a cave system hidden underneath the trees in Jordan's Dibeen Forest Reserve when they heard the presence of something behind the rock. To investigate, they moved a few of the rocks by the entrance and discovered a walled entity on the other side, having its face covered in brown. The two men immediately began religious incantations for spiritual protection against this possible supernatural entity. Many locals believe that this could be either a ghost or a jinn. Stalking skeleton. Judging by the body language of this skeleton, someone definitely put it up to this. A man was riding out on his horse by the trail road in the countryside of Montana when he noticed a moving skeleton that was hiding behind a tree while keeping a close eye on him, as if it were stalking him. It would look at the recorder and then quickly hide, revealing it to be a case of a possessed skeleton. As the video found its way to the internet, several speculations started, from it being a scared alien to a demonic creature that was up to something sinister. Creature hanging downward. Although this may look like a carcass of a bat, if not a sloth, the author of the video said otherwise. A couple who happened to be strolling in a park in New York City noticed the body of an unfamiliar-looking animal that was hanging downward from a branch over 12 meters from the ground. Initially, it was believed to be a sloth or a bat, until park officials reported it to not be the case. Before the carcass could be removed, multiple waves of crows and other scavengers feasted upon it until the remains disappeared. Unusually tall monkey. At first, this may seem like your average type of monkey, until you see it in person. Eyewitnesses reported seeing a monkey as tall as 12 feet to be strolling past the trees in Michigan's Green area. Apart from it having such a height, this chimpanzee moves using only 2 of its hind legs, just as if it were human. Although it is known to remain solo and has never shown any aggressive or predatory behavior before, authorities have advised residents and curious visitors to avoid visiting any of its pathways. After all, no one would certainly want to see what it's like being pissed. Twisted walking creature. Would you approach a creature with a twisted body such as this in the dark? A paranormal investigator, after having entered a haunted cabin in the nearby woods, reported being followed by a terrifying creature. It looked as if it were a person standing with 2 of its arms supporting the upper back, but in a way that it was twisted. Due to the pitch darkness of the night, the investigator couldn't get a proper look at it while maintaining distance due to safety concerns. After all, if something this haunting is following you, you'd probably not want to be anywhere close to it. Sasquatch on road. For something as mysterious as a Sasquatch, it is quite unbelievable to find one on the road. While passing through the woods, this driver noticed movement of a huge bush-like being, or a Sasquatch, just over a dozen meters away. The driver reported seeing several different types of animals fleeing from that direction, which is when he decided to start recording. As soon as he got close enough to the area it was passing through and got out of his vehicle, he heard the Sasquatch howling at him. He thought that it might be a warning call, but some of the Bigfoot investigators believe it was a mating call. Alien stalker. First a skeleton stalking, now an alien? This just keeps getting better and better. While being out in the wilderness, this man was singing and practicing his vocals while recording when a dark figure appeared. It looked to have a human-like figure with a shade of dark gray standing not too far from the recorder, who actually believes that his vocal sound may have gotten the attention of this alien. It looked to be in search of the source of the sound, which, when he stopped, got the alien confused, although it didn't stop it from looking around. While many believe that the alien was following him, some say it wanted the deer that happened to be crossing patch with both of them at the same time. Skeleton with shiny eyes. This truly is like a scene from a horror movie that actually came to fruition. A farmer in India, upon repeatedly hearing spooky sounds coming from a nearby hilly area covered with a dense forest, decided to investigate. Having only a flashlight and a cell phone camera, the farmer started to look around while moving towards the source of the sound. As he was getting closer, while looking around with his flashlight, the farmer noticed this huge skeleton monster that was waiting on the top of the tree. Judging from the stance to its wide open mouth, you can know that this ghostly being would have descended upon the farmer from the treetops if he had not spotted it with his flashlight in time. Screaming Skinwalker.
Oh.
Maybe this scary being wasn't able to see too well in the dark and kept hurting itself in the process. A curious explorer, after hearing numerous instances of a terrifying screaming sound coming out of his friend's place, decided to check it out. While recording the video and explaining about the area, the assumedly Skinwalker randomly screams,
Did you hear that?
instantly scaring him away. With a state park nearby and the place separated by only a fence, that spot could perfectly house a dark-dwelling entity such as this at night. With the area being dense due to the presence of trees, no matter how powerful the light is, it wouldn't be enough to spot this creature. Bigfoot House. To date, there hasn't been even a single rumor of a Bigfoot attack, but this might very well change if people start approaching its residence uninvited. A curious tracker, after hearing multiple sightings of a Bigfoot, decided to track it down using a series of trail cameras around Crescent Falls in Canada. After numerous failed attempts, he finally managed to find a secluded area surrounded by dense forest, where the tracker believes to be the house of a Bigfoot. The house was constructed using huge logs that were tied together, measuring up to 5 meters in length and standing 7 meters from the ground. In it, he found the rotting remains of numerous herbivores, while the area around was empty. Giant humanoid. The fact that size defines whether you're a prey or a predator in the animal kingdom, this giant humanoid could certainly have followed the same ethos. The uploader of this video was out celebrating a holiday at a ski resort in the outskirts of Colorado, and noticed a giant humanoid that was hiding behind the edge of a tall tree line. It was staring out at a large group of people while being relatively stationary. The author of the video added that it was vaguely human-shaped and stood to be 8 to 10 feet tall. The idea of it attacking people that were celebrating terrified him. But since entities are far more intelligent, they have eluded capture. Unusually scary snake. As if the average python or a venomous snake wasn't scary enough, a team of treasure hunters were exploring an ancient cave in North Dakota, where they stumbled upon a massive yet terrifying discovery. An unusually huge and scary-looking snake, or a cave worm, appeared out of nowhere, squirming its way out of a crevice. Instead of screaming or getting panicked, they remained extremely calm as this ancient being was slithering its way closer to them. Unlike any other snake, it was reported to be much faster, as it was using its tiny feet as well to move. Many believe that this was a beast and that it was guarding some cursed ancient treasure. Tree cryptid. You may believe seeing something like this to be a hoax until you get a closer look at it. A woman was spending time with her young son in her cabin when she sighted a long limb stretching outwards from behind a tree as the dog started barking at it. With the cabin being next to a forest on the outskirts of Rio de Janeiro, she sensed danger and asked her husband to investigate. Upon getting a closer view, it looked to be like the mythical cryptid called the Pombero. This infamous being is best described as a small, hairy, human-like creature that lurks in woods and steals small animals, birds, and even humans. Another Bigfoot. With years and years of rumors of their existence, they finally are getting caught in the spotlight. This is another Bigfoot that was caught on camera by 2 men passing through the Assiniboine Forest in Winnipeg, Canada, while vlogging. Unlike any other sightings, this one was much closer, as the driver and the Bigfoot were moving parallel, being only spitting distance away from each other. As the footage made its way to the internet, many started speculating that this could most likely be a grizzly bear or a baboon. But if you look closely, no bear walks on just two of its hind legs, while baboons are not solitary. Dancing mummy. Either this is some extra-dimensional being that is displaying its fascinating array of powers, or a dancing mummy that looks to be quite intimidating. A group of friends, while returning from a camping adventure in West Virginia, noticed a bizarre-looking figure in the dark. It looked to have a human body with some sort of white cloth or rope coming out of its arms. With the recorders in panic, despite it being a dozen yards away, they weren't able to get a clearer view. Judging from what we can see, it sure looks to be something like that of a mummy. Dark figure behind tree.
What is that?
Whether it's broad daylight or the pitch darkness of night, this figure looks to be a bit too shy to show itself. A group of people camping in a forest somewhere near Maine noticed this dark, shadowy figure that seemed to be following them. It was first seen in the pitch darkness of the night when one of the campers was fetching firewood. Despite using almost every type of light available within their disposal, they still couldn't see what exactly it was. Once the sun came up and the group was returning back, they once again bumped into this figure. Using the daylight, they thought to be able to finally identify it, but the dark entity kept away from them. Hiding alien. It is likely that this alien may be starving after being left behind. A group of friends in Falaise, France were having a barbecue together when they spotted the presence of an alien-like organism that took things to an abrupt halt. To get a better look at it, they torched a small pile of branches and noticed a disfigured-looking being. It was standing beyond the trees while peeking at them with its large, dark eyes and long fingers, which started to curl towards the torch. As the recorder attempted to get closer, the alien disappeared within seconds, leaving them appalled, and now this is one of those mysteries that remains unsolved. This picture was captured in November 2015 by a group of poachers who claimed to have taken down a Bigfoot in an undisclosed location in North America. Footage was shared on the internet showing moments before the giant was ambushed and killed. The poachers set up bait using a series of hunted deer to attract the giant when they bombarded it with several dozen doses of tranquilizing serum. As the Bigfoot passed out, the giant was secured and shortly after, decapitated by a hired meat butcher. The incident caused a widespread uproar on the internet, citing that this could result terribly by triggering the others of its kind, and the concept of coexistence may be nullified. River Beast. Just over a year ago, a video of this mysterious spooky beast from somewhere in Uzbekistan began to rack up views on the internet. Fishermen in the area are known to make an offering of raw chicken meat marinated in blood to the beast that lives in their river. In return, it permits them to catch fish from the river. This footage was taken by a tourist upon disbelief of such a being wanting to see it for himself, who decided to join the fishermen. Upon sighting the ritual trade, he was left baffled and speechless. He wanted to get a closer look at this beast when it was seen on the shore, but instead decided not to. Possessed woman. This footage was captured by a traveler who was lost somewhere in the woods in Mexico. While passing, he began hearing a disturbing sound as if someone were in distress, which stopped minutes later. He finally decided to stop to rest for the night, when again he heard the same terrifying zombie-like cry, only a few meters away from him. At this point, he decided to investigate who or what the source might have been, only to find it to be a troubled woman who looked to be possessed by a supernatural entity. After the encounter, the traveler began fleeing away for his life. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not share any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again